but now I see how you were there for me. Now I can say, never would have made, never could have made it without you. I would have lost my mind, but now I see how you were there for me. Listen, and now I am strong. I wish I had some help. And I'm wise. I am better. So much better. When I look back on all the wrong to do, I can see you for the way I
So 15 years ago, we all gathered here under this video, musicians. If you have not seen this video, I don't know where you've been. You must have been under a rock, because we all gathered under the comments. And I think this comment here represents all of us, right? I was actually surprised. I actually never broke this one down. So I went and I looked for a couple breakdowns, and I saw some amazing breakdowns on it. But I wanted to put my take on it. I think this reveal is going to shock you. So let's go to the first one. Okay, so like I said, this first reveal is going to shock you. I've never done a breakdown on this, and I heard the different versions. I heard the different explanations of what's going on here, but nothing quite has it. So I want you to hear this part. Okay, so what are those chords? Now, there's a lot of versions. And I just want to say kudos to the people who have broken this down, because that part is not easy to hear. So I had one person online in the breakdown, they had these as chordal chords. So they had it like this. And what they did is they just kind of went down in half steps. Right? And then they just added the bass note on there. Right? And it forms a B9. Another person's breakdown went kind of like this. Okay, so I want you to keep those two breakdowns in mind. They're slightly different. And then I had my own breakdown. And I want to say something, that all of these breakdowns were great. They were close. But even I was wrong when I did it initially, because when I compared what I originally thought the chords were, and I also compared what the other people thought, and I put them in Logic, and I lined them up with what he was playing, I was hearing dissonance. And so my ears like, something's not right, and I couldn't find out what the dissonance was. And I want to show you what it is. So check this out. I'll use this chord. Whether I use this chord here, whether I use this chord, or whether I use this chord, it's the same dissonance. So check this out. See that first chord there? That's the problem, and so here's what I found out. And like I said, this first reveal is going to shock you, but check this out. So, da-da-da. If you listen closely, you'll hear an da as the first note. I want you to listen for it again. Okay, now if I play the other one, you hear dissonance there. If I start in E. You hear that? You can hear. See, so I'm listening for the dissonance. So what I do is I have a chord and I test that chord. You hear clear dissonance in the chord when you're starting from an E, but you don't hear dissonance when you start from the F. It's a totally different chord. The E here changes this to an A minor. The F is a major chord, and they're vastly different. Now, when I play the major chord down, yes, he's moving down in half steps, right? If I play the major chords, it's... then it ends there, and I can still have this half diminished chord over the B flat, which forms a B9, which actually sounds like the correct voicing. So check this out. If I play these as majors, and now there's the dissonance, it's gone. What do I mean by dissonance? I mean, when I play a chord and I hear what they're playing, if I hear something off, it will say, because of that rub, you hear the rub of a half step off. You can hear that rub in the transcription. So the lack of a rub means that there's consonants that are not dissonance. And that tells me, oh, this must be the right chord. So in actuality, I think what he's playing is this, still starting with the D at the bass, but I can add in, I think these were intended to be sharp 9 chords. If I have this F sharp in here, then the chord progression would be, which is, I think, is the right one. This is how I said this reveal. It's crazy. Everyone who did this did an excellent job, because this thing took me a while to figure out. So let me play that with you. Now you hear the right chords there. So that's the first section. Now, the second one is the one I want to talk about, because this is the one that the entire internet missed, right? You guys, y'all did a good job, man. We met here at the channel, but I want to look at these comments, right? So look at what everybody's talking about. If we scroll through these comments here, everybody's talking about what happened at 221. Let's scroll down more. 221. What's up, Vincent? 221. Another guy, 215. That's still later than the part I'm talking about. We got 221 here, 221. If we look through all these comments, we got everybody talking about 221, 220, 220. This is where the comments is where we come to figure this stuff out. So let's see what's happening at 221. So here's 221. I'll start from 215. Let's see what's happening at 221. This song is never would have made it in C.
Amen. That's a walking testimony that you can make it in.
Oh, and look at the musicians are all like, what? So check this out, because I'm not going to follow the crowd here. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that a lot of you guys missed the actual crazy part. I feel like everybody missed it. 221 is crazy, but it's not as harmonically crazy as what happened before, a few seconds before. I want you to look at what happens before here. So right before he hits that crazy drop, let's go on it. So check this out. And you'll see the musicians. Watch this. Did y'all catch that crazy key change in the middle of the progression? Nobody caught it. I want you to look at the reaction at that part of the song. Nobody said anything. Nobody did nothing. Nobody heard that. And based on the comments, it seems like nobody picked that up. But then when he goes to the second part here, check this out.
Amen. That's a walking testimony that you can make it in.
Oh, now they got that, right? This shows me that in order to really appreciate certain things musically, we have to have that ear. We have to train our ears to actually realize what happened, because I'm going to go through that part. I'm going to show you that part, which is actually far easier than the part before it, because the part before it, that's the part where I was like, what in the world? When I heard that, I almost dropped out of my chair. I was like, what the heck is this? And he does it. And of course, when Jason Tyson does this crazy stuff, he's not making any kind of movement for you to know, oh, like he's making no kind of face or anything like that. This is one of the craziest things I've ever heard him do. So let's listen to that, man, and see what happened. What is that? Like he's in the key of C. He's on the 4 chord, and then he changes to B. That's what's crazy about this thing, man. That to me is crazy. So I want y'all to listen to that again, man. Y'all got to hear that again. So he's on a D. He's not on the 4. He's on the D major over F sharp. And then he hits this progression here. Y'all heard that? So that's crazy. This is a 6-2 in B. And he's in the key of C. And if it were in B, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he goes like this. 6, 2. I'm in the 2 of B, which means he went down a half step and then went back to 2 of the original key. Was the craziest thing to me of this whole piece, right? So 6, 2, 2, 3 in the new key, back to the original chord that he was doing. Right? So that's actually it. So let me hear that in context. Craziness, man. Now, if you have another idea of what he did there, definitely tell us in the comments. But man, that part of the song, one of the craziest progressions I've heard, and to do it without seemingly think about it in the middle of a live performance, nothing short of outstanding. Now, before we get to this last section, as usual, I'm going to have a whole breakdown of this song. I know y'all want these chords, right? I know y'all want the breakdown. So check out the website as usual. I put the breakdowns there. You're going to get the MIDI file so y'all can see there's some other parts of the song that he did. But I want to do the drop, okay? So look in the description if you want the whole thing. Let's go to this next part here, the last part of the song.
Amen. That's a walking testimony that you can make it in.
So those are nice. I think somebody actually gave an explanation of what those are in the comments already. Let me see if I can find his comment here. Yeah, let me see. Anybody know what he did at 221? Yeah, I think this is it here. Yeah. Yeah, man, these comments are wild, man. Oh, look, there's another guy here. He says it's a minor chromatic drop starting with an inverted G minor. I don't know if he knows. Not quite. I don't know if this guy's right because if you listen, I'm having to do a lot of corrections today, but I don't think he's right because I want you to listen to this.
Testimony that you can make it in.
Okay, so because let me hear this part.
Amen. That's a walking testimony that you can.
So here is a chord that he's ending on, but it's not the chord that he starts to drop on. And I think the drop was in my transcription. I have him starting here. Going down chromatic. But actually, this guy may be right because I am hearing that B flat in there for the G minor. Let me see again.
That's the walking testimony that you can make it.
Yeah, it's because what I'm doing right now is I got to get the first chord. Everything else is pretty simple because once he gets that first chord, he's not going to be changing qualities in the middle of the drops. He's just most likely just going to be going down half steps chromatic. So that's why I try to focus on just that first chord, what he's doing. But I am hearing that B flat, so maybe he's right.
Amen. That's the walking testimony that you can make it, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. That sounds like it's right. He just
Amen.
needs to-
That's the walking testimony that you can make it, isn't it? Amen. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to thank God now.
Yeah. Wow. Craziness. I'm so glad we were able to cover this and do all three of these breakdowns for you. If you have not seen this video, check. This is a classic. So yeah, in the comments, man, let me know if you saw the video. Tell me when you saw it. And yeah, this is a great breakdown. So let me know what you guys are thinking. Thanks again for watching, folks. We'll be with you guys again. So check y'all later.